the sheep hear his voice, and he calls a sheep by the name, leads them out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. A stranger they will not follow, but they will flee from him, for they do
Right.
not know the voice of strangers. Okay, so
Right.
what like a 5 second, what how are you perceiving that passage?
Well, the first part of the passage is, what Jesus says, about the door, right? That
Yeah,
about the shepherd comes in to thieves and robbers. So you
yeah,
have
yeah.
the prophecies about the Messiah, number one. The second of all, the Messiah is the shepherd who lays in front of the door. So the true Messiah is the true shepherd. All right. Now this shepherd provides for the sheep to go in and out, which refers to experiential fellowship and categories. So the passage is emphasizing the protection and the provision of the shepherd and not the behavior of the sheep.
Oh.
That's the thrust of the passage. It's another way of saying, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leadeth me. Notice the whole Psalms of 23 is all about the shepherd,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
not focusing on the behavior of the individual. It's incidental. So to take a passage like follow, and Gospel Guidebook brought up an example about follow being belief, and I think that's acceptable. I haven't evaluated the full implications of that, but I just don't think that allegory is to be taking in such a way. I think it's pushing it too far. And furthermore, I don't think the passage is intended to talk about salvation. I think it's talking about the new covenant promise, but by implication, since God is faithful to all his promises, then it's true for eternal security as well.
Mm.
So it's basically about Ezekiel 34. Irresponsible shepherds have scattered the sheep. Okay, the irresponsible shepherds are the leaders of Israel at that time. That's why after the part about the shepherd, Jesus says, "Haven't you read that ye are gods to whom the word came?"
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, and then he starts criticizing them. So you have the good shepherd criticizing the irresponsible shepherds in a promise where he's given, I will bring back the people that you scattered. you know that's referring to Israel and ultimately the covenant promises. And see, he's allegorizing these passages individually to argue that, oh well, this is just individual salvation. This is a promise that will persevere to the end, and that God will make sure that we don't lose our salvation, because he thinks that you can lose your that in God's mind, the way things are pictured is, if you continue to stray on this temporal plane, then therefore you would lose your salvation. So God makes sure that you don't lose your
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
salvation. That's not how God thinks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God doesn't think, oh, well, I'm going to put this in place so that you don't lose your salvation. No, he dealt with it all at a positional level.
Mm-hmm.
Experiential category has to do with rewards and degrees, but not your destination.
Mm-hmm.